Okay, cool. I wanted to talk about Fours um, .fm again. I really love their stuff. I want to show you how I use it. I use it so many different ways, but I'm going to show you one thing that I really like using it for, and that is textural background. A lot of people uh, get it and think, well, it's just the FM, and it is an FM synth. But what's cool about it is that if you use it in well, you ain't got no choice but to use it in Ableton. But in Ableton, when you use it, rather, there is a rack ability to have all these micro um, options. And what I like to use these for is to control what's over here, right? Sorry, it's a plane flying overhead. It is what it is. And this is ROM. This is one a ROM, I think ROMB. If I mispronounce it, apologies in advance. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I'm just bad with it. Okay. But this is a reverb, right? So I like Box and I like this one. This one's free. The Box comes in the kit, so you got to buy the kit to get the. But that's so worth it. Anyway, this is I think it's pronounced Galanta. I'm gonna say Galanta or Galanta. It's either one. I can't remember. But when I use their stuff, I usually use a randomizer with it, and so I set my randomizer to the stuff that I want to MIDI map over here. So I hit map, click on the item, and then click on a spot, and it maps it to there, right? So I have 8. In Ableton, you can have up to 8 of them. So I map different ones. So I have the modulator mapped. I have the carrier mapped. I don't map this over here. I usually do these by hands, the ADSR stuff, just because it's going to vary a little bit depending on what the sound sounds like. I'm not going to randomize this right now because I just created something, but what I will do is make a duplicate copy of it. I will try to make a duplicate copy. There we go. And I'll mute this and I'll show you how the randomize works that I do. So I drop a rack in, I add everything I need to it, and then I group it together. So I built just a randomizer for this plugin, but I have them for Doublet, and I also have them for Sharel. I think that's how you say it. Somebody tried to help me in the previous video, and I still forgot. That's how bad I am with names. So I apologize, especially if it's not something simple, right? Like Dust. That's one of theirs. That's the easy one to pronounce. So anyway, here we go. So all I do on here is just hit map, and you can see I've mapped these locations. The ones in green over here I have not, but these with the kind of white looking, I don't know if that's white, but anyway, they're highlighted a little more. Not these. You can see are mapped. Okay, so I'm gonna turn map off. Then I just use random, and then I'm gonna use my MIDI controller so you can hear what it sounds like. So let's say I get close to a sound. I'm gonna turn this off so you can hear what it just sounds like. So let's say I get close to a sound. I say, okay, this is nice. I like it. Then I can adjust the ADSR, carrier, then I can go in and maybe tweak any knob over here I want. So let's say I don't like the feedback here. Then I can come over here and I can find the feedback button, which is right here. Adjust. Then add a little reverb to it. And because Fours makes these really good, very visual, I call them images, they're easy to see. It's easy for me to just say, okay, this is what I'm adjusting. Like for instance, I have the ratio, the micro portion of it and this portion of it mapped together. By the way, if you need to know what something is, you could do that. And usually right here, it'll tell you what it is. And this one is not doing it. I guess they didn't set it up that way. But you can see the macro is adjusted there. So yeah, so that's how I do that. I'll show you another example real quick. Maybe using the Sharel one here. It's the same principle. Oh, by the way, you can put colors on them. I didn't do it on the other one. I forgot to do it, but you can put colors. That does make it a little bit easier to see these words. Okay, so let's see. That sounds pretty good. This is... Now, I have it on the volume too. So I would say on the volume, you're going to have to manually sometimes adjust that if the tone isn't where you want it to be. So maybe that volume's a little loud. Bring it down. Or if it's too much dirt, bring the dirt back a little. I think the dirt was fine. I think the noise was a little much. There we go. Oh, without the ROM. There you go. So it just gives a little air. Then you could cut the highs of that reverb a little. So this is why I like their stuff. It's really simple to use. I like to be able to throw stuff in a randomizer, MIDI map, whatever I want. And this, especially with FM stuff, because I'm not a sound designer. And so, but I like the sounds. So, you know, when I want to use it, I like to be able to do that. Keep it simple, right? Now, one of the things, I'm going to mute this. One of the things I like to do in here, a plugin that is on desktop that will soon, at some point, will come to iOS, is Harmony Bloom. I'm in love with the idea of generating patterns that I don't have to always play, because sometimes I can't come up with the right pattern. You know, I can play a melody. Sure, I know scales. I can play you a scale in a song, but sometimes you'll play the same scale over and over and over, and you want something a little bit different. So being able to use this in conjunction with the forest stuff is really cool. So check this pattern out. Here it is, what it looks like. It looks crazy, which it is. But here's what it sounds like. So imagine now if I bring in this. Or you could be like, this cool for texture, but now I really want to bring in a beat. Of course, I can drop in. I can either use Life if I want to create some type of unique rhythm. Why not? Let's do it. So what we'll do is I'll grab something from a sample pack. Let's see. These were created with co-producer, which is cool. We'll use that one. All right, so in Life, one of the things in Life, that's funny. You can only use 15 seconds. I do wish they would kind of increase the volume amount or time that you could use. I mean, it's not that you need 15 seconds all the time, but it would be cool. All right, then you can either rename it or keep it. I'm just going to keep it what the name is. Also, if I load one, I don't want to have to go back in XLN, really, if you see this. I don't want to have to go back in and load. Once I load it in, it's obvious I'm trying to use it. Just let it say okay. All right, so then lock it to the rhythm. If you want to adjust this, we'll see what it sounds like first. If you don't like it, randomize it again. It's not giving me much random here. All right, let's see what that sounds like to the beat. I'm gonna put in a. I locked it to the rhythm, so let's see. Feels like it's like going faster. For some reason, I don't like this one. It's not, it's too, let me find something else. Hold on. Sample packs. Let's go to sample vocal. Okay, interesting sample. Okay. Well, that's weird. That time it seemed to be just like it added it. This one I don't like, so we're not going to save it. I'm going to just delete it real quick. All right. Cancel that. And we're going to say okay. File already has been added to life. Switching to it now. Interesting. I didn't know I already added that, but all right. We'll... Oh, maybe I've used it. I don't want to use something I already used on a song. Let me use something else. Hold on a second. All right, let's try this beat. So we're just going to put a beat in. Apparently, I have the same click abilities to click the same stuff over and over and over. All right, so let's go to this one right here. And now we'll just randomize it. You can always remove stuff you don't want. All right, let's see how that sounds with this. Doesn't really fit much. Don't dig it. Sometimes it doesn't work. This is really ambient sounding, so you got to be real picky on the drums. I always feel like with ambient music, because it's more about having less, so maybe going to build my own drums would be probably the better choice. So let's do something together real quick. It's not quick because it's going to take me a second to find it because I didn't plan on doing it. But I think it would be good. I like this kick here. It's kind of, well, it'd be good to put it on the right one. By the way, if you wonder what I just did there, let me stop this and tell you that, because I didn't know that for a while that you could do this. But in Ableton, I'll show you one more because we got to add a snare real quick. That'll be the snare. We'll use a rim. So let's say you want to you're on a different track, but you want to put the sample on this track. Well, if you drag the sample straight to the track, it's going to put it as an audio. So to bring it into the MIDI, you hold it over the track, and then it'll take you to that track without having to click the track, then go back to it's just a little bit quicker. I'd say it's quicker, but if you're on another track and you forget, this will work for the hat. So hold it over, drag it, boom, and we'll adjust the volume accordingly. All right, so let's do the snare. I always do my snares first. And you'll see you don't have to do a lot. The reason I've shared videos where I like this to be in different pitches so I can play around, because the song I might want to vary it. Having it this way, so let's just try this. Okay, perfect. Not perfect because I'm not perfect, but you know what I mean. I usually do about 4, depending on what I'm doing. I'm just making something simple here, so I'm not trying to. Let's do the kick. Let's do it. Okay, that's it. Sometimes with these type of tracks, you want to keep it real simple. I select them, Command J, that consolidates just that form there. We'll do the hat real quick. I'm going to use a different pitch. Not going to change the volume or anything. I'm just using a different pitch just to give it something different. Okay, so there you have it. I just did the hats. Now, for me, I think this hat needs... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I think I'm going to quantize it to like a 30-second. So I know there's some stuff off. I'm going to go ahead and do a 16, see if that... Nope, that makes it worse. Let's do it to an 1/8 maybe. There we go. Now, once that's done, we can do this. By the way, you don't have to right click in here. You can do it over here now. You can just click 16. Add more notes, or you can do like what I'm about to do, which is turn it off. And then I'm just going to nudge it. I just use the arrows to nudge it a little bit. Just a little off. Use the deviation so that it doesn't play it exactly on where it is. And if you want to randomize it even more, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But I'm going to go check on these because they may be a little, yeah, see like that first one's a little off. So if you just touch here, it'll highlight the whole thing. This is just like an MPC. Touch there, it highlights the, then just hit that command. Now it's there. Turn the grid off if you want. And I like to nudge them just a little bit. You can either do it this way or use the arrow if you want to nudge them. Okay, the kicks need to be fixed a little bit, I can tell. So I'm going to go, for these, I'm just going to go Command A and just highlight them all. Go ahead. It's already set to a 16th, so just, there you go. Don't let people tell you can't quantize. I hear that so much. Oh, don't use quantize. I get it if you want a loose feel, but sometimes if you ain't that guy or that girl, that drummer, you might want to just, quantize and then make your adjustments on the nudging and all that kind of stuff just so it sounds good. The whole purpose is just to make something that sounds good, right? In the end, that's the goal. All right, I'm going to highlight all of them and just hit Command D, duplicate them across, and now you have a starting point. Of course, we're going to make adjustments along the way and make changes, but you got something to work with, right? Grab whatever bass you got. By the way, let's do this. Let's show you this. Forbes.fm, Forbes, F-O-R, makes their own bass that is free. It's called Load. L-O-D-E, here it is right here. That's what it sounds like. But if you go back a few... octaves, then you get that. Now you can start shaping. Put a little sub. So it's good for synth bass. I'm not gonna use that. That's not my vibe. I'm just showing you they do make one, and it is free. I tend to use Trillian just because I like more. I like an upright bass. I like bass like this is my favorite one. Petrucci R&B. I use it almost every song. Here. Okay, and then they have a ton of basses in here, by the way. If you're interested in bass, see like acoustic upright. So if I go in here and grab, hold on, where's the one I like? I love it. So you could do that if you want to get jazzy with it. The fretless bass are cool too. Of course, you got slap, all that kind of stuff. I tend to stick with just a muted jazz type bass. If you want a Fender, they have Fender Clean. Plus all your slides. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go back to the R&B. I just wanted to show you a couple basses in there. How did I do that? I used the MIDI capture. MIDI capture is huge because I'm about the vibe. So play the music, let the vibe hit you as you're playing, hit the MIDI capture, pull your notes up. And then I have this little guy here. You guys have seen it in other videos I showed you for free. It's one of the rename clips. So if you click it, look up here. It wasn't named, now it's named to bass. Whatever is over here, it'll name it that. Okay, but it does it for everything on that particular one. So I just played on the vibe. This is definitely out of key. You can see it's out of key because you can see the notes. All of them are just about are out of key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the fit to scale. Now it's in scale. So let's see what it sounds like. Honestly liked it better out of scale, so I'm going to leave it out of scale. I'm not sure if it should be, if this A sharp is, I don't know. I liked it. Let's see what it sounds like without a scale. Okay, but then there's always, now it usually adjusts it down for some reason, but you could just adjust it up. So let's see. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so this one, you might want to go up if you don't like it down, right? Okay. All right, let's get it in scale, but we're going to do ours different. We're going to manually put it in scale just because I want it to sound a certain way. So there you go. The G is out of scale. Let's go up one. See what that sounds like. Like this note here, so I'm going to drag it back. every now and then I have to adjust a bass note. It's rare. I usually just play it. So I don't like that at all. So that's okay. If you don't like, get rid of it. And the beauty of it all is, watch this. Command C, copy, place it. Command V, paste it. So I'm using that. I'm just picking that portion of the bass line. If you want to do it up here, you could do it by just highlighting that section. Only reason I'm doing it inside here is so I can see what the notes are. Right? See, that one's off. Could be over a little. We're gonna leave it there, and then I'm gonna go Command J. So now I consolidated that, right? And then I'm gonna go Command D. Now I have it duplicated. That's just where it's picking up. All right, cool. So there we go. You can keep the drums separate. Or like I do, I just put them, highlight them all, group them together, and then call it the drums. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Real simple. Now, what you can do with a group is you can use this instead of using each one. But I'm going to use each one because if I send the tracks out as stems ever, then it only stems this as a collective versus these. So I'm going to put, this is my 303 compression. Why I got rid of my, somebody asked me that, why I got rid of my SP404. The one thing in there I loved the most was the 303 stuff. And I didn't have a 303, nor did I want to go buy a 303 just because when you get them, you don't know what condition they're in. They don't make them anymore. If they ever re-release a 303, I'm going to be there buying that. That's for sure. But that's the one that I would love to have, but of course I don't have it. So it is what it is. I'm not sweating it. I use what I have here. Good Hertz is the one for me, Wolf compressor, and I have a OG 303 preset. I didn't make it. They made it as their preset. I just use it. So it's cool on the drums. I usually turn the bass down a little. And then one of the things I like to use, this is a preset that kind of plug in. It's the glue compressor for in Ableton. I have a bass punch in parallel. I'll usually side chain the kick. You don't really have to do that with this style of music. Also, learning the scales is cool. So let's go in here and learn the scale real quick. We are in the scale of A Dorian. So I use it a couple ways. Before Ableton added all that extra goodness that they've added on the 12, I would use scalar. And I'd say, okay, this is actually E flat Dorian. So let's just switch it over to A Dorian. There, so we can just use this to learn the scale. So the only note that is that F. Everything else is the white keys. Easy, right? So I'll come back down here, and now I can just play something to add in. If I don't like it, there you have it. Simple way to make kind of an ambient, groove, jazzy, vibey track. Of course, you can go as far as using like the UVI stuff if you want to create like some type of percussion, extra percussion piece in there. And of course, you can vary it a little bit. Harmony Bloom is definitely the device I like to use to get my ambient slash kind of glitchy slash whatever type tracks. You can use it for other stuff too. If you get a chance, watch Mario Nito's YouTube channel. So watch how he uses it, because he obviously created it. He's the master at this thing. The way he uses it in different forms of music, he'll try different stuff. He's used it on drums. I've seen him use it on a lot of stuff. I'm not that good yet with it. I need to play with it because this isn't my normal style of way of making music, but I'm starting to get into it and enjoy it a lot. So try it out. I don't think he has a free version, but if you got Ableton, it's only like €29, or what is that, like $35 maybe, something like that in American. I'm not sure on the currency change. I don't really have that information in front of me, but I will say it's definitely worth it. All right, so none of this is paid sponsor. I have bought everything you see here, including Ableton. Even though I had the beta version before this came out, I did upgrade to the 12 suite from the 11 suite. And I will say this version has a lot of things that I like better. And I've already done videos on that, so I'm not going to go through that again to show you. But yeah, that's it for this video. It's been longer than what I expected, but I went ahead and showed you a few extra steps in my process of making a track and trying to get something going, right, from whatever you generate. So these are I call this Harmony Bloom more of a pattern generator versus just saying it's a MIDI generator. Because yeah, you can generate MIDI, but you don't have to do that. You could use it like a live backing, and it'll constantly switch and be changing and stuff like that. So many ways to use it. All right, Forest stuff, check them out, forest.fm, and I'm out.